The minute my daughter was able to take herself to and from school, I taught her about what SA really is. I feel like as a child, I never really understood what it was. And when I say that, I mean things that were definitely SA, I didn't even realise. And I was also one of those people that was scared I wouldn't be believed. So I'm trying to put this bracelet on, it's just not going to happen, but I'm going to try this whole video. Like a good example, when I was 12, I got on the bus. I was in my school uniform. And some man, he must have been 40, 50, just casually put his hand in between my legs. And the worst part was, when I looked at him in a what the fuck are you doing way, because I was so shocked. That was the first time I'd ever experienced sexual assault. When I looked at him like, what the fuck are you doing? He looked at me like I was the one doing something weird. And I just remember not feeling like I could talk to anyone about it or that anyone would believe me. It sounded ridiculous to me, the thought of going up to like one of my teachers and saying, oh yeah, I was just on the bus and a man just groped me in the middle. I didn't think anyone would believe that because that just sounded so crazy to me. Obviously now as an adult, I wish I had told someone. And I do think I would have been believed actually, definitely by one of my teachers. And they might have been able to catch the guy because of CCTV. I've been SA'd many times since. The minute my daughter could take herself to and from school, I've taught her all about SA. And I don't actually, when I made that decision to talk to her about it, I always wondered, is she too young? Is she too young? I don't think kids are. I thought the older my child would get, it would get easier. It's not, because my daughter, she's still, obviously, she's 11. So she's very much still dependent on me. She also has independence now that she didn't have before. And it's the scariest thing in the world. And no, I've taught her about SA. I've taught her. I mean, I remember even in high school, I don't know if kids still do it, but even in high school, when I was in high school, boys would come up behind us girls and undo our bra straps. Boys would come up and slap us on the arse. So now I've made sure my daughter knows if anyone does that to you, that is assault. And I've also made her aware that, you know, sometimes guys might ask for your number. And when you say no, they'll call you a fat, ugly slag. And I've always said to her, that's not true. Whatever they say about you, it's not true. Because it is, I said, I explained to her, they say that kind of stuff to shame you into thinking you're the one in the wrong. If a guy slapped my arse and I didn't laugh, automatically I was a stuck-up, frigid prude. That's what I would get called. I don't know how to have fun. I've lost a nail. And I'd believe it. I'd think, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I a prude? I was 13. I was supposed to be a prude at that age, but I was made to feel, I felt ashamed of it. Always do the whole, oh, well, other girls find it fun. Other girls would do this. Other girls would react this way. Other girls enjoy it. I said to my daughter, don't listen to that shit. Ignore it and know that that is their own little rejection issues. I think we need to teach kids that. I don't know if girls are getting SA'd younger or if we're just becoming more aware of it. I think it's more of an awareness thing, actually. I think girls have always been SA'd that young. And what makes it horrible is my daughter, her style, she's always had her own style. From the age of like 4, she's always picked out her own clothes. At the moment, she's really into like baggy sweatshirts and cargo trousers and things like that. And she looks great and she says she likes that style. But she told me the other day, part of the reason she likes having that style is because it covers her body. And I'm trying to teach her all about self-love, but you know, imagine, you remember what it's like as a teenager. I hated my body as a teenager. Sometimes I was always trying to gain weight, then I would try and lose weight. It was really unhealthy. And it's hard convincing a teenage girl to love her body. I'm just doing the best I can. But I think the minute that they get some independence, the minute they start high school, they're old enough to learn about SA. And obviously you can explain it in your own way. Explain it in a more child-friendly way. But my daughter knows if a guy slaps her on the bum, it's assault. And I'll call the police on anyone that touches my child. I used to think people who SA'd me, I used to think if I told the police, that would make me a snitch. That is the number one thing girls should be snitching on. And I get why some don't, because they're scared. I said to my daughter, there's not one person who could touch you that I'd be afraid of fighting. I don't care how big they are. If I can't fight them, someone else I know will. I'm just thinking, I just want to urge people. I'm sure, it goes without saying, I'm not like, I know you parents know this. Teach your child what SA is though, what it actually is. And let them know that you'll always believe them if they tell you something. And if it feels wrong, then it probably is wrong. And teach your kids that a guy calling them a fat slag because they won't give their number out or whatever it is. The number was just an example, it could be anything, but it's not true. You're not a slag, you're not ugly, they just have rejection issues.